Hi, welcome to Atheist Encounter Podcast. Do you want to know about atheists and their encounters? Then you're in the right place. Alright, so stay tuned as we are about to embark on a journey with another atheist. Hi, welcome to Atheist Encounter Podcast. This podcast is a platform for atheists to share their encounters and perspectives. Okay, we are glad to have you on board for the first ever episode. All right, my name is Fabrice. We have a guest on the show. But before we introduce our guest, I will introduce the co-host of this program, Mr. Brendan. Mr. Brendan, can you say hi?
Hello everyone. Good evening.
Okay, that's Mr. Brendan right there. He's our co-host. And let me introduce our guest, Mr. Chiedozie. Mr. Chiedozie, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're welcome on board.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's begin. Okay, Mr. Chiedozie, my question
Yes, I'm here.
My question goes like this. Were there specific events or an event that prompted your shift away from religion, that made you, drop religion and say, nah, I have had enough, I don't need this? Was there anything like that? What prompted your shift away from religion?
Okay, one of the problems I encountered with religion during my high school days that made me to say, no, I'm done with this system of thought is because of deceit and lies. Outright lies. Because of time, I might not start mentioning there are cumulative reasons where I said it's enough. Let me just mention a few. One is telling me that a fish swallowed Jonah. Somebody stayed in the belly of a fish for 3 good days. Is one that I couldn't stomach. Telling me that Samson used a bone of a calf to kill over 30,000 men is the one I can't. Citing the issues of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being turned into a lake of fire. They stayed there for barely 16 hours and they weren't consumed by that fire. So these are some of the reasons that said it was enough. These are from the scriptural part. Now from the physical part, I've met with people. Okay. How can you that is selling tomatoes that he is going to acquire a vehicle worth over 60 million, when in reality this person can afford standard premium. So it takes someone with high level of reasoning and logic to decipher that this is a black mark. So these are some of the reasons that made me say it's enough. The lies and the exploitation we are humongous. They are numerous to mention. So that was when I call it a quit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And over to you, Mr. Brendan.
Hello, Mr. Chiedozie.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you for this answer. Thank you for the answers. As an atheist, what's your response to God bless you? Maybe after you help someone or you rendered any type of help or something to someone and the person response to your good gesture was God bless you, what will be your reaction or your response?
All right. That's my response. My response would be all right. Because the reason why I'm answering all right, because what he's telling me is not real. He's just telling me something that amuses him. He's been hypnotized to believe that this is something you tell somebody and the person receives the blessing. No. So, and I'm from the school of thought that doesn't believe in those distortive statements, because to me I see it as a distorting statement. I render the services to you and I expect my payback should be either paying me in value or rendering the service back. So telling me God will bless me is like selling me an illusion that doesn't exist. Unlike when I want to purchase a land, and I give you my land, and you're telling me God bless you for giving you a land. No, you give me something of same value, which is a money, can be monetary terms or equivalent, something that is tangible, something that I can get hold on. That is why I will answer you all right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that answer. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Over to the host.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer as well, Mr. Chiedozie.
Okay.
What's your view? What's your view on the school of thought of agnosticism?
These are a group of people, will I use a civil language? They have ideology crisis.
Ideology crisis. By ideology crisis, you mean?
Agnostics are having crisis problem, ideology crisis problem, because they can't make their positions very clear. You can't be in two places at the same time. You must be at a place at a time. So that is my take on them.
Well, don't you think their position is actually okay? Looking at the fact that we cannot say for sure that there is no God or there is no creator, and then we cannot say for sure that there is. So basically what they are doing is they just say, okay, the idea or the concept that there is a God cannot be unproven or cannot be proven to be true. So don't you think it's actually a very good standpoint?
Okay, let me now correct some of theirs from the statement you made. They said that that there is no God cannot be proven. That simply means they're invalidating the concept of atheism. And they have made their positions clear that even the atheism concept is still invalid. Is that not what they're trying to sell from your last statement?
Well, actually, yeah, the view is that the knowledge or the concept of God cannot be proven to be true and cannot be disproven to be false.
Their position is not clear.
Okay.
They have you can't be two places at the same time. Are you with me?
Go on.
Yeah, please. You don't again. This is capture time.
You want to make your position clear.
Yeah. You are personalizing the or the anything. I put Muslims in that.
That's the solution. You're having an ideology problem. So that is what it simply means. So that's one of the conclusion. We are dismantling in religion and all that beliefs that have inclination with religion. So that is my position.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll hand you over to Brendan.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Chiedozie. I'll head straight to my next question, being, do you try to rescue others from religion too, or you just keep your thoughts to yourself?
Yes, I try to rescue people from religion because I have seen the ills and the negative effect it has done to not only our people, to our continent, the African continent. It is one of the biggest tool of the imperialist, the colonialist. They have used religion to subjugate our people. Imagine what they did to almost 1 billion people in Africa, where people believe that the only way you get a job is through prayers, like good roads, good healthcare system. There is a God in the sky that is coming to give you electricity, good roads, give you jobs, give you children. Whereas children is a product of mating, intercourse. So the idea they've sold to the African continent has destroyed the system, and we can't keep what. What I do time to time with my Facebook page is to educate the people on why they should really leave religion, because they are our brothers. We can't sit and watch our brothers perish. So many people have died because of religion. There's one particular one in Christianity that they call it the faith church. they call it the faith tabernacle. Those ones don't believe in taking medicine when you are sick, and people have been dying. The other ones, Jehovah Witness, they don't accept blood transfusion. Somebody will be having hepatitis and he needs blood. Somebody will have an accident, either from the work area, or one or two reasons might make somebody have an accident that requires donation of blood, transfusion of blood. And you see these people using their religion to invalidate that they don't want transfusion of blood, that is from the devil concept. So, these are some of the ills that have been going on gradually in our societies, and the government have not summoned the courage to stand against these misinformations. So it's left for us that are presumed to know to stand against it in any possible ways we can. So one of the ways I can is to use my Facebook handle to try to teach our people to live religion, that there is no hope there. Because we even have to give them reasons why they should, because the people that brought in this religion will not even allow you to bring it to their land. In places like London, Netherlands, you can't come to the street to preach. They will charge you of pollution, noise pollution. They will charge you of disturbance, and you pay fine for it. So even the people that brought these things for you have left it long ago. They've moved on to pure production and industrialization. So that is why I use my page and I encourage the movement to save our people. It's just to save our people. So I will save, as long as I breathe, I will keep saving our people from religion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. That's a good job we are doing. Thank you very much. I will hand you over now to Mr. Fabist. Mr. Fabist, hello.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brendan. That was a lovely response from our guest. Thank you so much, Mr. Chiedozie.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. I have this question as well. Okay. The question is, what do you believe happens after death? That's
okay.
Yeah, that's the question. What do you believe? What do you believe happens when a person dies?
Okay, nothing happens. Death is there is what light out.
Okay.
The difference between us and us in the bush is because we are higher animals. That is just the difference between those animals in the bush. We share the concept. We share biological processes. We get see. We share humans with animals, but the difference is that we are the higher beings. So as an animal grows old and dies, and that ends it. That is how the human being grows old and dies. This is the concept of the biological process, the one we call food chain. The food chain cycle must go on. If there is an altercation, there will be extinction. That is the concept of biological process. Okay, we consume plants and we kill some of these animals to eat. When we grow old and die, the termites, when we get buried, the termites in the soil will do what? Will feed on us. The microorganisms that exist will feed on us as what? As food. So those human beings alive will do what? Feed on those microorganisms as food. So the food chain continues. There are those that are vegetarians, there are those that are mammals. So the food chain was, we are food to animals and animals are food to us.
Okay, sorry for cutting you. Are you don't you feel like there is a kind of a continuation of this, of life after one dies? That's after one's biological processes ends.
Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to ask too.
Okay, there is none.
There is none?
Yes, there is none.
Okay, so how do you cope? Okay, sorry, sir. Go on.
Okay. Like I said, one is dead. You are as old as good to die. So people there at infant stage. So there's not been a proven concept that this person existed 300 years. So that alone is a singular reason to invalidate even that concept of afterlife. Because if there is, there should have been a documentation, there should have been proof. I told you that the atheist school of thought believed that what you believe in reality, what that can be proven. If it cannot be proven, it is entirely obsolete. We can cite reasons of all these things that can be proven. So the afterlife has never been proven with the point I've known about the afterlife. It hasn't been proven, because if it has been proven, there should be at least initial information about either those that existed centuries ago, their tribe, the continent they stayed. There must be an information about them. So if at this point in this our level of advanced technology, we've not cited an afterlife, there is no sign of an afterlife, that invalidates the concept of afterlife. That's my answer.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How do you cope with the fact that when you die, that's it? I mean, you don't get to exist anywhere. You're just gone, as in forever. You know, forever is a very long time. I don't know how you feel about that.
Okay, the concept about when you die and you feel like, is that how it's going to end? This is the natural process of life. That is why it is preaching about selfless service to humanity. Contribution. Their contribution, your contribution in life, in your life, at the point of your life on earth, is the legacy that will live on behind you. This is why we remember the likes of Aristotle, Newton, so many notable scientists. The reason why they've been remembered after they died is because of their contribution while on earth. So if there is no contribution you made on earth that you should be remembered with, it doesn't last. Once you die, that is the end. Do you know the mortality in this world? Today we lost over 30,000 people, and for anything. Most of them have never made contribution to humanity. So those ones that made contribution to humanity are the people we talk about. Those that are living, talk about them. So I don't feel anything if I live and die. That ends with my life. I've done my own part, and we move on. Life continues. Life is a continued process. So that's my concept about.
Okay. But don't you think this concept of afterlife, maybe the reward of heaven and then the punishment in hell, don't you feel they are actually very important, because they help people to live a good life? Like when you are being threatened with hell, and it's a fiery place, you get to burn forever. Psychologically, there's a way it makes you a good person, and then the reward in heaven as well. You get to heaven, there's enjoyment there. The place is actually beautiful. I mean, don't you feel these two concepts, the concept of heaven and hell, are actually very important in the society? What's your take?
Okay, my take is, first of all, there is no heaven, there is no hell. This is one of the concepts of Christianity. You should know that we have over 5,000 religions. There are people that worship elephants. There are people that worship idol. There are people that, let's talk about the Hindus, they worship snakes, animals. Let's talk about the Muslims, Allah, and the Christians talk about heaven and earth. So Christianity just believes in heaven and hell. Whilst there are other religions that those that worship animals, they don't believe in hell and hell. The Buddhists believe in monk. You live and die. You be cremated in the monastery. So what we believe in is living an upright life, and religion is not a panacea that convinces us to live a moral and just life.
My question actually was about whether or not the concept of heaven and hell is actually important in helping people live a good life. I mean, in the society, don't you think those concepts are actually very important, as in they give people a kind of, even though it is a false idea or false hope, but at least it gives them reason to be good. Don't you feel it's actually important?
Okay. Yes. Let emphasize on Christianity. In as much as Christianity has its intricacies and its problems, there are some moral lessons we learn from them. This issue of heaven, hell, has shaped. Let's be honest and factual. It has shaped one way or the other in how our society operates. Yes, the fear of going to burn in a hellfire, as ascribed in the scriptures, the Bible scriptures, has somehow mitigated crime to an extent. In as much as it hasn't really eradicated it in the way we wanted, but it has helped, one indirectly or indirectly shaped some human beings' actions in relating with people. So, in as much as we say no to religion, we don't say no to the wisdoms and the moral lessons, the values it has taught people at the course of teaching. So, yes, it has contributed in one way to manage the affairs of man in terms of stopping them from doing some things, going to hellfire.
So basically,
That's my point.
so basically, you are not mad at the entire concept of religion. You're not angry at every aspect of religion. You are just, there are some things about it that you don't just want to see in the society. Am I right?
Yes. They have some in the Bible. Any rational person should obey. You don't even need religion to tell you. The likes of, they say, children, obey your parents so that your days will be long. Any right-thinking person knows you don't need to disrespect your parents. Now, treat your neighbor as you want to be treated. We are preaching of what? Justice, fairness, and equity in the society. So that particular scripture in the Bible has equally validated our atheism ideology on justice, fairness, and equality. Now, don't go and steal what doesn't belong to you. Yes, in that concept in the scripture also validates our stand against criminality, theft, and robbery. So, like I said, it is not everything that we frown at in Christianity. There are areas in Christianity that we adopt as some of the policies that should be at the front burner in the society. So that is my take.
Okay. So what exactly are the aspects of religion that you don't like?
The aspect of religion I don't like is what? The hypnotization, the exploitation, and the lies. These are thinking. I found
the way you said lies. The way you said lies is actually funny. Okay, but okay.
These are things I frown. How can you tell me somebody moving from one point to the other will take the person over 40 years? How can the Israelites move from Egypt to Canaan for 40 good years? So many of them that we can mention. These are what I frown at in religion.
Mr. Chiedozie, please, let's assume you marry a woman who is an atheist as us, but her family is deeply into religion. So let's say you took your family for maybe a holiday to visit their grandparents and that your in-law family. So you got there, their normal routine, which is a morning devotion in the family, and they actually said that you should lead in the prayers as an fellow to you joining their family, that you should lead the prayers for that morning devotion. What will you do?
Well, my positions will even be made clear to my in-laws, and they have to respect my decision. Going contrary to my freedom of association, freedom of choice is like infringing into my common fundamental rights. So if them knowing my position and they want to coerce me that simply means they're looking for trouble.
It's actually the way he responded was actually funny, saying if they are trying to coerce him into doing that, that means they are looking for his trouble. That trouble part was actually funny. So you mean, Mr. Chiedozie, are you telling us that you are not going to honor their request?
Yes, I was going to.
You are going to decline their request to lead the morning devotion?
Yes, I was. I'm going to decline. My decision of coming to honor them, and to me, I'm seeing it as coercement, or in that point, it's harassment, because I can't make my position clear to you that I don't believe in this, and I'm not coercing you to come into my own side, and you're trying to force me to do what I've already told you I'm not. That simply means you want to infringe into my fundamental human rights, and you know that is against the laws, and there are penalties for that. You can be arrested for that in the same crime. Once you abuse the fundamental rights of the citizen, irrespective of either your relation, even your child. Once you abuse the fundamental right of your child, you will be arrested and you will be fined. So to me, if they insist on coercing me, I will decline, and the most simple way of doing this in our dispensation currently is to just take a walk away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Mr. Host, Mr. Fabist, please, over to you.
Okay. Do you discuss your atheism with your religious colleague, family, and friends? Do you do that?
Yes. Like I've said, I've made my positions very. That is who I am. I am not a double-faced individual. So I'm open to. I'm open to both religious and non-religious people. But one thing I will make you to understand is that I will allow you to express your view, because this is your fundamental rights. You have the time to air your own opinion. But the fact is, I'm coming with superior, and I expect you not to be hostile, because most of the cases I've encountered with friends, workers, relations, outside people I've met is that when they sell, we are always open to listen to them. But when we counter them with superior arguments, you see logic jumping fences. You see battles flying from one pillar to post. You see them shifting the goalpost. So I discuss my atheism with my friends and families. I do that often.
Okay. So as a result of your arguments and your discussion with them, have you lost friends? Have you lost family? Have you lost colleagues because of your argument and your standpoint? That's because of your irreligious life view. Have you lost anybody?
I have lost over 95%.
Wow, that's much.
In fact, this part of the country is highly religious. So most of my friends are religious people, and immediately I made my position known to them, they started jumping ship. Some either they started blocking me on Facebook, some started threatening me, some started giving me false prophecies that I will die early, if I don't stop talking down on Christianity or other religious people, some Muslims started threatening me, they will kill me. So I've lost a good number of friends, and I've met a whole number of friends. I've met both foreigners, indigenous people. I had a very good friend. He was my classmate in the university. We studied the same course, economics. He's living in Port Harcourt. He's a religious person, but he shares part of my concepts. I've told him the issues of people waking up to tell you that I have 5 brothers and I prayed and it disappeared. He said it's not possible. He told me plain it's not possible. So I have lost friends, I have met friends, but the ones that I've met are not so close to me. The ones that are close to me, I've lost almost all of them. I said 90%, just like 10 remaining. And the 10 are not just atheists, they are those that they've accepted some of my positions that they have seen that man, this one is an outright lie. This one is these positions are pure lie. The likes of someone living over 900 years, he said it's not possible. So they have seen reason in some of my positions I've made clear to them. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so what are you going to advise somebody who is depending on other persons that are actually religious? Let's say I'm having doubts about religion, and I don't think religion is true, and I want to come out as an atheist, but I am dependent. I'm depending on some people for financial assistance and stuff like that. What are you going to advise such a person to do?
Okay. It's very simple. There's a book we read during my high school days. We call it "You Stoop What to Conquer." My simple advice to the person is just hide. Maintain your steez, like it's trending as steez. Please, survival supersedes thoughts. You are dealing with the worms in your stomach. You are dealing with the harsh nature of the outside environment. So I prefer you stay low with your thoughts because of the financial gains you're getting now, until you are sufficient and sustainable enough to come out openly. So I will not that if you come out openly and you cannot sustain at the long run, is a suicide mission. So which I would never advise anybody. There are soldiers that go to battlefront, and when they're overpowered, you know what? They retreat. They are not retreating because they have lost. They're retreating to re-strategize. Since you are dependent on somebody for survival, and you come out to position yourself as an atheist, and these are religious people that are ready to kick you out once they discover you are not moving in tandem with their faith. One of the big advice I guess is just for the meantime, shut down that thought. Shut it down. Stoop until you've developed to the point of sustaining yourself. That is when you can make your positions clear. So my advice to anybody that is those listening to me, wherever you are, you're living under somebody, you're working under a place, and if you make your positions clear, you'll be fired. I will advise you not to make your position clear until you've developed yourself to to override the implications of your position, and I'll advise you to make that choice.
Okay, so you are going to advise, you are advising somebody who is depending on a particular job or a particular person to kind of camouflage for the time being until when the person is is independent before they can come out. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but then let's say, for instance, you're working with an organization and they ask you to pray. Maybe they don't know you are not religious, and they ask you to pray. What are you going to do?
Oh, I will decline. It has happened.
I will decline.
Yes, it has happened. It has happened. We have a general meeting. Yes, and I was specifically asked to pray. And one of the reasons that orchestrated them pointing me was that some of them have known my position that Chiedozie is an atheist. So they want to just pull my leg. Someone said, Chiedozie is going to pray for us. And it really shocked them. I told them, I cannot pray. I declined. Someone else.
Okay, but then if you are trying to camouflage or work under some people and they ask you to pray, and you say, let's say for example, somebody that depends on that job, that's his livelihood depends on that job, and then they ask him to pray, are you going to tell him, what you're trying to tell him is he or she should decline that request? Is that what you're saying?
He can depends on the situation. Like I said, there are situations where your position in the place of work, they can easily lay you off even if you decline such request. But if the position there is, immediately you said no, you are off, they are sending you off. Like I told you, we stoop to conquer. I will ask you to don't just camouflage and pray to sustain your job. The reason why I was able to boldly decline was I was the head of my department. So it's easy for me to decline. Someone else to do that. So, like I said, you first of all shape the situation at hand. That is why some of the decisions we make in life is most enhanced by the situation at hand. So if the situation of you declining the instruction from either the management that you should pray and say no, and it results you to be fired, I will ask you to camouflage. This is what they call it survival tactics. If you've read Public Relation, there's a book written by Professor Alogoro, Public Relation. When dealing with public, there are survival techniques you use. There are situations you have to get survive, and there are situations you don't need to survive. So that is what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think I'll hand you over to Brendan.
One question.
Okay, Mr. Brendan, go on.
Mr. Chiedozie, previous question.
Okay.
I would love to ask, assuming you were married when you were religious and you had kids, let me say 2, and later on you found out like religion is a lie and all this, and you became an atheist, but your wife keeps on being religious, how do you manage your children from falling into the lies of religion?
Okay. Let's not say head of the family. I am the head of the house, and I control my household. Engaging with my wife in conversation that centers on religion, I will make my position clear, which she will know. On the terms of our kids, I will always bring in the freedom of choice. Allow these kids choose their beliefs. If they choose religion, it's fine. If they choose atheism, it's fine. But I will not want it to get into the management of my children. So my answer is very clear. I will make my position clear to my wife. I don't want religion in my household. And if you find a problem with that, you know the most simple way to solve these kind of problems. So that's it. That's my position. I will not allow religion to meddle into because I am the number one representative of my family. If I can't take decision, the family, who is going to take it? Because I run my household.
Thank you very much. Please, Mr. Fabulous, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Brendan. And thank you as well, Mr. Chiedozie. Let me ask my own question, please. And it goes like this. How do you handle people who try to convert you to their religion? Like friends, families that try to, have a conversation with you to, convert you to their religion. How do you handle that?
Okay, first, I am not hostile. Being illiberal and hostile would end up what? Like I said, invalidating the school of thought we believe in. Because why? I'm very open to my family members, outsiders, to preach their religious concepts to me. But like I always tell you, like I cited in some of my last statement, that each time I hit them with superior arguments, that is well, which adjective well used to quantify this? That is grounded with facts. The other thing is, you see them shifting the goalpost. They keep shifting the goalpost. But I don't relate. I'm always resolute and determined to welcome them, so that I will use the opportunity. If I don't welcome them, they won't hear me out. Because if once you welcome them, they can now give you the same ear because you've given them. So I'm not hostile. I'm open to them, but I make sure I use that opportunity to do what? Still tell them. Still point out to them the ills in those things we preach. So that's how I handle the situation. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I'll hand you over to our co-host. Let him ask you his own question, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you to Mr. Chiedozie for your last answer. I would like to ask this question. What's your take as an atheist on same-sex relationships? Do you think it's something that we should adopt, or we should continue as our nation is already abolishing? Or do you think we should consider, since many are considering it a natural state of condition, not a defect? Thank you.
Okay. First of all, this position, my position now, I'm not speaking on behalf of atheists. This now is my personal decision, which other atheists have their own various opinion. Some have secular opinion, some have rigid opinion. Personally, for me, I don't support same-sex marriage, personally, because it poses a threat to our continuity. Naturally, a man will mate with a woman. That is how they produce another person. A man meeting a man, we cannot create life. And if we continue on that pace, we will go what instincts. So I'm not a fan of people that want the human beings to go extinct. There was not so many animals that got extinct because of lack of education and scientific innovations. In as science are they trying to preserve some animals from going extinct. So I will champion, if the West can be sinking in billions of dollars to preserve animals from going extinct, you can't expect me to champion same-sex marriage. It doesn't pose a threat. Some of them are from the argument that it doesn't pose a threat to anybody, but it poses a threat to our survival and continuity as humans. Yes. So personally, I have a problem with same-sex marriage. I don't support and encourage it because of our survival. So that is my take. In as much as like same-sex marriage concept, LGBT, gay is, let me call it, like I always use that language, they have identity problem, they have crisis problem, they have issues with identity. There's what we call hormonal imbalance, something going opposite of how it's supposed to be. That's what we call imbalance.
Okay. So what you mean right now is that it's a defect. It's abnormal. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't.
All right. Thank you very much for that answer. I will now hand it over to our host, Mr. Fabis.
Hello, Mr. Brendan.
Yes.
You can just go ahead. Go ahead and ask him your next question, please.
Okay.
Yes, go on.
So my next question is, as an atheist, and when you are approached by a religious person for assistance, let's say assuming you have been, trying to convince this person that God cannot do this for them or that for them, and they keep telling you that it's a lie, that God will use someone to help them, and they actually come for you for that help, which if you help them, it will clearly mean to them that God used you to help them. Will you go ahead and help them even if you have the ability to do that?
Okay, the question is highly rational. I love this question. First of all, from the humanism aspect, that's what we call humanism aspect. This is what, like I said, selfless service to humanity. Let's say the help is maybe the medical line. Somebody's about dying. If we should start talking about atheism and religion in that concept, somebody will die. We will end up not doing what? Achieving our purpose as atheists, because we don't want people to die. But if we're talking about the idea of what teaching that fellow, personally, I would not want to give him the money. So let me prove that false prophecy. If it doesn't involve somebody about dying, let's say maybe it's just that he's going hungry, and hunger does nothing. I will not give him the food. Let me see how the prophecy will come. I will not give him food. So he needs to learn, and I will use that singular lesson to teach him. But if it's about somebody being somebody that is about to die, maybe somebody that's maybe who had an accident or sick is about to die. No. Humanism will override any concept here. Because if we don't allow the humanist ideology to override the concept, that means we will end up not actualizing our purpose. So to me, that's how I answer that question.
Okay, thank you very much. So your answer is that your response will vary based on the situation. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for that. Over to you. That was my last question, and over to you, the host. Thank you very much, Mr. Chiedozie. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you so much for that answer. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chiedozie, for your time.
Thank you. You are the man. You are the man.
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast and your opinion and everything. We really appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, I said thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I'm so happy, and I want to thank you all, and wish that other atheists will be invited so that I can come as a listener to learn, because I'm open to learning. They said,
"Oh, they will be invited." I assure you that they will be invited. And I really think you will love the answers as well, because this is like a learning page for all of us. You learn of a continuous aspect of life. We learn things every day.
Okay, so thank you so much. And I think we've come to the end of our podcast today. And we're going to call it off right now. Mr. Brendan, do you have one last thing to say?
I think actually, good night. Thank you very much for the night. It was a wonderful one.
Okay, Mr. Chiedozie, thank you so much.
Okay. So my last I went to verse 4. Betting this podcast, it has been long overdue. So I want to also appeal to you. Don't be discouraged with a turn up of audience. It's a room wasn't built in a day. So I want to, if I should be a Christian, if I should be a pastor, I will say, let's prophesy. One day this podcast will have just like in Jesus doing. Okay. Amen, sir. We are looking forward to that, sir. Thank you, sir. I receive. All right, fine. Thank you, Papa. Thank you. Good night.
Alright, so after listening to that, what do you have to say? Drop us a comment in the comment section below. You can as well follow us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. Alright, so thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.